Did you know that death, in most cases, doesn't begin in the heart, but in the legs? I know it may sound harsh, even difficult to hear, but often the end doesn't come with a sudden cardiac arrest or a disease that appears overnight. The body usually doesn't scream when it starts to shut down. It whispers. And one of the most ignored whispers is the loss of strength, movement, and life in our legs. Because legs are so much more than muscles and bones. They're the roots of our life. Just as a tree begins to die when its roots no longer absorb water, the human body begins to weaken when the legs stop supporting it. Think about it for a second. Your legs are what get you up in the morning, what carry you to hug those you love, what give you balance, strength, autonomy. And yet, when we talk about health after 60, everyone worries about the heart, blood sugar, cholesterol, but hardly anyone talks about legs. And that's a mistake that can cost us more than just a simple stumble. This video isn't made to scare you. It's made to empower you. Because many times, physical deterioration begins silently, and we don't notice until we've already lost too much. But if you pay attention to the first changes in your legs, you can stop and even reverse the process. We're going to talk about signs that appear before any diagnosis, about daily habits that are destroying your strength without you knowing it, and about how to regain control before it's too late. Stay until the end, because at the end of the video, I'll share practical keys to strengthen your legs, protect your independence, and keep you standing strong in life for many more years. Because yes, it's true, many times, death begins in the legs, but that's also where life can begin to recover. The great forgotten aspect of aging, legs. We all worry about the heart, about blood pressure, about glucose. We get blood tests, EKGs, monitor cholesterol, and follow diets to protect the organ that, rightly so, is considered the engine of life. But there's something almost nobody monitors, and it can be even more decisive for knowing how many years we'll live, and how we'll live them, our legs. It may seem surprising, but today, medical science states it clearly. The strength of your legs, more than your blood pressure or cholesterol, can quite accurately predict your life expectancy. That simple, that overlooked. Because without strong legs, the entire body starts to fall. Think of it this way. You can have a healthy heart, but if you can't stand up from a chair without help, if you can't walk without staggering, if climbing a staircase becomes mission impossible, what good is that healthy heart? Independence, balance, mobility, and dignity in old age depend on your legs. They're the silent core of aging. And we're not just talking about physical strength. We're talking about a biological process that affects your entire body. Sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass, and it begins much earlier than we imagine. Starting around age 30, we slowly begin to lose muscle. But after 60, this loss accelerates dramatically, and the legs are the first to suffer. And this is not speculation. It's science. Studies published in prestigious medical journals, such as the Journal of the American Medical Association, have shown that older adults who lose muscle mass in their legs before the age of 70 have up to a 40% higher risk of mortality in the following 10 years. 40%. It's not a small number. It's a resounding warning. And yet, how many medical checkups ask you about your leg strength? How many doctors measure your ability to stand up without support, walk steadily, or maintain balance on one leg? Very few. Because we remain trapped in a narrow view of health, where what is invisible, what doesn't show up on blood tests, isn't taken seriously. But the body doesn't wait to be measured. The body simply begins to shut down when it no longer feels able to stand on its own. That's why this video is so important. Because when we talk about legs, we're not just talking about muscles. We're talking about life, longevity, independence, about being able to keep walking towards our grandchildren, towards our dreams, towards life itself. And it all starts by acknowledging what most ignore. Legs aren't a minor detail. They're the starting point for everything. Symptom number 1, difficulty standing up or climbing stairs. There are silent signs the body sends when it begins to shut down. They're not intense pains or medical diagnoses. They're small gestures, choices that seem harmless, like, for example, avoiding climbing stairs. I'd rather stay downstairs. Why go up if everything I need is on this floor? It's not worth going upstairs to the bedroom. I'll sleep on the couch. Do these phrases sound familiar to you? Maybe you've said them, or maybe you've heard someone you love say them. That's exactly what happened to Mr. Michael. He was 66 years old. He had always been active, the kind of person who walked everywhere. But one day, without anyone noticing, he began avoiding the stairs in his own house. "Why would I go up to the second floor if everything's down here?" he would say. Nobody insisted. It seemed logical. But the truth was something else. He could no longer climb them without effort, without pain, without fear of falling. And he was embarrassed to admit it. What began as a practical choice was in fact a silent surrender of the body. When climbing stairs becomes difficult, when standing up from a chair requires using your arms or several attempts, the body is saying something. The most important muscles for autonomy are beginning to weaken. The quadriceps, those large muscles at the front of the thigh, and the glutes, which hold up our posture, are essential for any transitional movement: standing, climbing, maintaining balance. And when these muscles atrophy, three things start to happen. Mobility is reduced. The person moves less, which leads to a sedentary lifestyle. Overall physical deterioration accelerates. Moving less causes the heart to work less, the lungs to expand less, digestion to slow, and the entire body enters a state of degenerative inertia. The risk of falls increases exponentially, because a body that cannot stand up firmly also cannot react to a stumble. But here's the important part. This sign can be reversed, and it can be detected early. There's a little test you can do today, with no equipment, no doctors. You just need a chair without armrests. The chair stand test. Sit upright, with your feet flat on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest, and try to stand up without using your hands. Then sit back down and repeat this exercise 5 times in a row. Were you able to do it without losing your balance? Without feeling too weak? If yes, great. But if it was hard, if you had to help yourself with your hands, or you felt unsteady, your body is telling you something. The good news is that you don't need a gym or hours of training to begin to reverse it. Simple exercises like sitting down and standing up from a chair several times a day, going up small steps with support, or doing gentle wall squats can activate these dormant muscles. And when the quadriceps are reactivated, your whole life starts moving again. Because being able to climb a stairway again, to walk without fear, to stand up confidently, isn't just a physical achievement. It's a silent statement. I'm still here, and I still can. Don't ignore that sign. Don't let climbing stairs become impossible. Because when the body stops climbing, it starts going downhill. Symptom number 2, swollen, cold, or discolored legs. Sometimes the body doesn't scream, it whispers. And one of the most ignored whispers is found in the legs. That swelling that seems harmless, those dark spots that show up out of nowhere, that cold that descends from the knees to the feet, even though the rest of the body is warm. Lucy was 72 years old. She was cheerful, active, careful. But for some time, she noticed that her ankles would swell in the evenings. "It must be the heat," she said, "or because I stand a lot." But over time, the swelling got worse. Her legs felt heavy, her shoes left marks, and purple patches appeared around her ankles. She kept saying it was normal. It wasn't. When the legs swell, become cold, or show discoloration, the body is warning that blood isn't circulating as it should. And that's more serious than it seems. One main reason is chronic venous insufficiency, a condition in which the veins of the legs can't return the blood to the heart efficiently. Instead of flowing upward, the blood pools in the vessels, causing edema or fluid retention. This leads to that swelling, especially at the end of the day. But it can also cause dark spots, known as hyperpigmentation from hemosiderin, itching, and even ulcers if left untreated. In more serious cases, it could be deep vein thrombosis, a clot blocking blood flow. This condition can be life-threatening if the clot travels to the lungs. A typical symptom: one leg swollen more than the other, pain on touch or when walking, localized redness. On the other hand, when legs are cold to the touch, especially the feet, it may be due to arterial problems, meaning the blood isn't reaching the extremities well. This could stem from blocked arteries or even early signs of heart or kidney failure, especially if both legs are constantly and equally swollen. So, what to do? Observe and note. What time of day does it happen? One leg or both? Is there pain, color change, itching? Visit a doctor if the swelling is new, painful, or doesn't improve with rest. The doctor may request tests like a venous Doppler ultrasound or lab work to rule out kidney, heart, or circulation issues. There are home measures that can help greatly. Elevate your legs during the day, at least 15 minutes, 3 times a day. This encourages venous return. Avoid standing or sitting still for long periods. Walk around, even if just at home. Wear compression stockings if your doctor advises. These help prevent blood from pooling in your ankles. Stay well hydrated and reduce salt intake to avoid fluid retention. But most importantly, don't normalize what's abnormal. Don't say, "It's the heat," when your legs look like water balloons. Don't say, "It's my age," when you feel your shoes no longer fit. Because once again, the legs are speaking on behalf of the entire body. They're telling you, circulation isn't going well, the heart is tired, the kidneys are struggling. And if you listen in time, you can help them keep going. Because legs that circulate well belong to a body that still wants to live well. Symptom number 3, nighttime cramps or loss of sensation. Sometimes the body doesn't ache. It burns, it tightens, it pricks, or it simply stops feeling. And it does this when the rest of the world is sleeping. In the silence of the night, the legs speak loudest. Anthony was 70 years old. Every morning, his cries broke the silence. "My legs are squeezing. I feel like someone's stabbing me from inside." His wife said they were just cramps, but they weren't just simple spasms. Anthony felt as if invisible chains were tightening around his calves until he cried. Something much deeper was happening. Nighttime cramps, burning sensations, persistent tingling, or even loss of sensation in feet and legs aren't normal symptoms of aging. They're clear signs that peripheral nerves are suffering. When the nerves running through the legs begin to deteriorate, the body sends confusing signals, sometimes extreme pain with minimal contact, other times total numbness. Some people feel like they're walking on rocks, others like they have dead feet. One of the most common causes is diabetic neuropathy. Poorly controlled diabetes progressively damages the blood vessels that feed the nerves, and without that flow, the nerves begin to die. Another frequent and lesser known cause is vitamin B12 deficiency. This vitamin is key to keeping nerves healthy. Its deficiency not only leads to fatigue and palpitations, but also tingling, a pins and needles feeling, or muscle weakness, especially in the legs. Excessive use of certain medications, chronic alcoholism, and even viral infections can also trigger peripheral neuropathies. But there's one constant: these symptoms usually worsen at night. Why? Because in silence and stillness, the nervous system is no longer distracted by external stimuli, and so damaged nerves are felt more acutely. What can you do? First, don't ignore it. What starts as a mild nuisance can become disabling. Therefore, it's essential to get blood work to check glucose, hemoglobin A1C, and vitamin B12 levels. Consult a neurologist or internal medicine specialist if cramps or numbness are frequent. Review current medications, as some can cause neuropathy as a side effect. Change your diet. Include foods rich in B12, eggs, fish, lean meats, or supplement under medical supervision. Also monitor magnesium and potassium levels, key minerals for muscle function. Do gentle stretching before bed, especially of the calves and feet. This can reduce cramp intensity. Improve circulation by elevating your legs at times during the day or taking short walks. Remember this: when nerves stop talking, the body stops feeling. But when they cry out, it's because something can still be done. And that is the best opportunity you can have. Don't let your legs turn into a battlefield every night, because sometimes the first step toward sleeping peacefully again is simply to pay attention to what hurts and act before it's too late. The direct link between weak legs and early death. Few things predict longevity as accurately as the strength of your legs. Doctors say it, studies confirm it, and experience shows it. When the legs fail, the body begins to give up. For a long time, it was believed that old age starts in the mind or in the heart. But today, experts in geriatrics and aging know something different. Frailty doesn't start at the top. It starts at the bottom, in the legs. And this isn't just a metaphor. Multiple studies have shown that walking slowly after age 60 is directly associated with a higher risk of cognitive decline, cardiovascular disease, and even premature death. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association analyzed more than 34,000 older adults. The results were clear. Those who walked more slowly had a significantly higher mortality rate than those who maintained a steady, confident pace. Why? Because walking is so much more than moving your legs. It's an act that involves brain coordination, muscle strength, balance, respiratory capacity, and cardiovascular health. When one of these elements begins to fail, the gait slows, and the body starts sending signals. Leg weakness is also closely related to another silent enemy: falls. And not just any fall. We're talking about those that end with a hip fracture, an emergency surgery, a lengthy hospital stay, and in many cases, a turning point from which there is no return. According to the World Health Organization, falls are the second leading cause of accidental injury deaths in people over 65. And the majority of those falls are preceded by the same issues: weak legs, loss of balance, insecurity when walking. A hip fracture, for example, isn't just a broken bone. It's the start of a process in which the person stops moving, becomes depressed, loses muscle mass even faster, and is exposed to infections, blood clots, cognitive deterioration, and often independence is never regained. That's why doctors state it firmly: frailty begins in the legs, and when they fail, the body gradually surrenders. In practice, there are 3 very simple ways to assess if someone is at risk. Walking speed. If a person takes more than 6 seconds to walk 6 meters, their risk of mortality increases significantly. The ability to balance. Try standing on one leg with your eyes open for 10 seconds. If you can't maintain your balance, your neuromuscular system is weakened. The chair stand test. If you need to use your arms to get up or can't do it 5 times in a row without exhausting yourself, there's a notable loss of strength. These tests aren't complicated. They can be done at home, and very often, they allow us to detect that deterioration when it's still reversible. Because here's the key: when we detect muscle weakness before it causes a fall or a disease, we can still intervene. Yes, we'll talk about how to do that in the next part of the video. But first, a simple truth. No organ survives if the legs shut down. Because if the legs stop moving, blood stops circulating, the brain stops activating, and life slowly retreats. So take care of them, train them, observe them, because perhaps you didn't know it, but your body's biological clock is in your legs. 5 habits that are silently killing your legs without you noticing. You don't need to suffer an accident or a serious illness for your legs to start weakening. Sometimes, it's enough just to live life the way you do now. Because however incredible it may seem, there are daily silent habits that little by little kill your legs. Without pain, without warning, without alarm. Until one day, suddenly, you simply can't stand up like before. Let's look at 5 of these invisible habits and what you can do to reverse them starting today. Sitting more than 6 hours a day. It may not seem like it, but a sedentary lifestyle is one of the greatest enemies of your legs. When you spend many hours sitting, watching TV, at the computer, in the car, in the waiting room, your muscles stop receiving stimuli. And the body works with a cruel logic. What you don't use, you lose. The muscle fibers begin to atrophy, circulation slows, and tendons shorten. Your legs become weaker, stiffer, and clumsier when moving. What can you do? Get up every hour, even if just to walk a bit around the house. Do simple stretches next to the chair. If you can, take phone calls while walking around. Only walking on flat surfaces without obstacles. Many older adults say, "I walk every day, from the sofa to the bathroom, from the bathroom to the kitchen." And while that's better than nothing, It's not enough. Always walking on smooth surfaces doesn't challenge the neuromuscular system. Your legs need varied terrain to maintain their strength and balance. Uphill, downhill, grass, sand, steps, curves. These challenges stimulate stabilizing muscles, reflexes, and coordination. What can you do? Incorporate outdoor walks, even if they're short. Walk in parks, go up small inclines or curbs. Even indoors, you can place soft obstacles to activate agility, like cushions on the floor or small exercise steps. Eating little protein or skipping meals due to lack of appetite. Muscle strength isn't lost only from lack of movement, but also from lack of raw material. And that raw material is protein. After 60, the body loses muscle mass more easily and needs twice the effort to preserve it. Skipping meals or having a diet based on cookies, soups, or coffee weakens your legs faster than you think. What can you do? Include protein in each meal: eggs, yogurt, legumes, fish, chicken. If you have no appetite, choose small but protein-rich portions. A single egg a day is better than nothing. A handful of nuts, a glass of milk with oats, an omelette in the afternoon, everything helps. Wearing inadequate footwear, slippers, shoes without support, very soft or very high models. All these comfortable styles can sometimes be traps for leg health. Why? Because they alter foot support, deactivate the muscles of the calf and ankles, and affect balance. It's like walking on clouds. Comfortable, yes, but very unstable. What can you do? Choose shoes with good support, a firm sole, and a slight arch. At home, swap slippers for closed, non-slip footwear. If you can walk barefoot on safe surfaces, like carpets or grass, do it. You'll wake up forgotten foot muscles. Avoiding stairs at all costs. Climbing stairs is one of the most complete exercises for your legs. It strengthens glutes, quadriceps, calves, and balance. Yet many older adults avoid them out of fear of falling. Until one day, they truly can't climb them, even if they want to. What can you do? It's not about climbing 10 floors, but if you have the option, choose the stairs instead of the elevator, at least one flight. Climb calmly, holding the handrail. If you don't have access to stairs, simulate the movement at home by stepping up and down a low step repeatedly as exercise. The rescue plan: how to reverse leg deterioration. After 60. Many people think that once the legs start to fail, there's no going back. That it's a natural part of aging, that it's inevitable. But that belief is dangerous, and above all, it's false. Yes, you can reverse it. You can recover strength, agility, and vitality in your legs after 60. You only need 3 things: intention, consistency, and the right plan. Today I'm sharing that plan with you. It's not miraculous, it's not complicated, and it doesn't require machines, weights, or a gym. It only requires that each day you tell your legs, I still need you. First, simple, powerful, safe movements. Here are some exercises you can do at home, even if you have no experience. Wall squats. Place your back against a sturdy wall. Slowly slide your body down as if you were going to sit, but don't lift your back off the wall. Go as low as you can without pain and hold for 5 seconds. Then rise back up. Repeat 5 to 10 times a day. This movement activates the quadriceps and glutes without straining the joints. Step-ups. Find a low, stable step, or even a thick, sturdy book. Step up with one foot, then the other. Step back down the same way. Do it slowly, feeling your leg muscles work. Practice it for 1 or 2 minutes daily. Over time, increase the number of repetitions. Walking on tiptoes. Walk for 30 seconds on your tiptoes, keeping your abdomen slightly contracted and your arms out for balance if needed. This exercise strengthens the calves, improves posture, and boosts circulation. Walking on heels. After walking on tiptoes, do the opposite. Walk on your heels with your toes lifted. This strengthens the tibialis muscles, essential for preventing falls. Single leg balance. Use a chair for support if necessary. Lift one foot off the floor and balance on the other for 10 seconds. Then switch legs. Do it 3 times per side every day. Balance is one of the first skills to fade, but also one of the easiest to restore if trained. Second, nutrition that strengthens from the inside out. Your body can't build muscle if it doesn't have the materials to do so. So, in addition to movement, you need to feed it properly. Include daily, quality protein, eggs, fish, yogurt, legumes, chicken. Vitamin D. Get 10 minutes of sunlight per day or eat foods like sardines, salmon, eggs. Magnesium, found in almonds, spinach, avocados. Collagen, bone broth, natural gelatin, supplements if your doctor recommends. Water. Dehydration lowers muscle performance and increases cramping. It's not about eating more, it's about eating better, giving the body what it needs to stay strong. Third, complementary therapies that improve circulation and relieve pain. If your legs are stiff, swollen, or painful, you don't always need medication. There are gentle and effective alternatives. Gentle massages stimulate circulation, relieve muscle tension. Warm salt baths relax and reduce inflammation. Acupuncture can improve energy flow and reduce chronic pain. Mild electrical stimulation, TENS, helps activate muscles in people with limited mobility. Alternating warm and cold compresses stimulates vascular response and reduces swelling. Always consult a professional before starting any treatment. But remember, there are many ways to help your legs beyond just resting. And finally, mindset. Perhaps the most important thing of all, because the body responds when it feels it's still needed. When you stop using your legs, when you stop trusting them, when you ignore them out of fear or discouragement, they feel it. But when you talk to them, when you move them, when you nourish and awaken them with intent, the body responds. The body is grateful. And then something wonderful happens. You begin to walk better. You begin to stand with less effort. You begin to feel that you're not fading away. You're reactivating. This is your rescue plan, and you still have time to set it in motion. In the next part, I'll share real stories of people who regained leg strength after 60 and how it changed their entire lives. Transformation story. I walked without a cane again at 78. Her name was Rosie. She was 78 when she decided she no longer wanted to rely on a cane. For the previous 5 years, her walking had become slower and slower. First, she stopped going upstairs in her house. Then she avoided long walks. Later, the cane became her inseparable companion. And finally, she began needing help just to get up from a chair or out of bed. My legs just wouldn't respond, she said. It felt like they were shutting down, like they were slowly forgetting that they once carried me around the world. Rosie had no serious illness. She hadn't suffered any accident. She was simply giving up. She felt old, fragile. Her children started suggesting she accept a wheelchair just in case. And although she didn't say it out loud, she felt that cane was the beginning of the end. Until one day, her granddaughter asked her something simple. "Grandma, do you think legs forget how to walk?" That question woke her up. She didn't know the answer, but she knew one thing. She didn't want to live with that doubt. Rosie began with something simple, walking around her house, a bit more each day. Then she did balance exercises, holding onto a chair. She added gentle wall squats. Her doctor advised her to eat more protein, and she started having eggs for breakfast and fish for dinner. She rediscovered her enjoyment of cooking and moving. For the first few months, there were no miracles. It hurt. She got tired. She had doubts, but she persisted. And one day, without realizing it, she realized she had gone to the kitchen without her cane. "It was only after I sat down that I noticed what I'd done," she said, tears in her eyes. "Not only had I walked by myself, I'd reclaimed a part of me I thought I'd lost forever." Today, Rosie is still walking. Sometimes she uses the cane, but often she doesn't. She goes to the park with her friends. She feels proud when she climbs the stairs slowly, but without help. And whenever she can, she tells someone, "My legs hadn't forgotten how to walk. They just needed me to believe they still could." Because yes, it's possible. To walk again, to move, to live with dignity. Death can begin in the legs, but life can return through them too. Your legs have been your silent allies all your life. They held you up when you took your first steps. They carried you to work every day. They let you run, dance, embrace, travel. They let you stand firm in front of what you loved, and also in front of what broke you. And now, when time feels heavier, they're still there. Maybe more tired, maybe asking for help, but they're there, waiting for you to listen. Because yes, the heart beats, the lungs breathe, but the legs are the anchor between life and death. When they fail, the body begins to give in. But when they strengthen, the soul seems to believe again. The good news is, you don't need complicated machines. You don't need gyms or grand plans. You only need one thing: decision. The decision to stand up a bit more each day, to take one more step, even if it's slow, to believe you can still hold your life upright, because your body is waiting for a sign that it's worth it. So do it. For you, for your dignity, for those legs that have been with you all along and that now need you as much as you need them. And if you've ever felt afraid of losing strength, if you've already noticed it's harder to climb stairs or get out of a chair, if you're fighting not to give up, leave it in the comments. Your story can inspire someone else. And if you're already regaining your strength, share that too, because we all need hope. And if this video made you think, if it touched something deep inside, subscribe. Here, we speak without fear, with truth, and with respect. Because after 60, it's not just about living longer. It's about living better, with strength, with dignity, and with your legs planted firmly on the ground. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.